I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's perfect. You just have to come every evening.
Okay.
It's only 3 nights a week. Anyway,
Perfect.
that is
Done.
fantastic. Kim, we have been trying this like hard for several times here. And every time I've done something stupid and we haven't been able to do the show. So I am glad you are here.
I'm glad to be here. Listen, hey, some things happen, but here we are. We're going to have a crazy night. It's going to be fun. And I'm finally glad to see you right here in person. Well, not in person, but, virtually. And we're chatting. So I'm
as close
pumped.
as it gets.
Close as it gets.
We're going to do it. And we were just talking about the possibility. Are you in LA?
I'm not. I do travel to LA for work and such, but I'm here in New York.
Okay. So it's later for you. There we go.
It's later for me. Yeah, I'm East Coaster
but you guys,
here.
You don't watch the news until 11 in New York still, right? The local news?
Yeah, people watch it at all times, probably.
Yeah, well, I know the world has changed. But when I lived in New York, the news was on at 11. So, you worked from 9 to 5. In the Midwest, they tend to work from 8 to 4, which is not really true, but because of the time thing. But, let's pay a quick bill here or two. Scooch case, everybody. Last night, you will see that I did not have my phone secure in the case. And that was my fault, not Scooch Case's fault. And it fell out. But it won't do that tonight because I glued it. No, just kidding. So Scooch Case, we got this little hook here, what they call it, the wingman or the wing person, maybe. And it'll hold on to your phone. It'll, you could use it like in landscape mode on your desk.
That's cool.
In vertical mode. And, it's rated to drop like 10 feet. So if you're going to drop your phone, make sure you have the case on it. And Scooch, look, they're owned by a gentleman in Indiana. Well, he's probably a corporation. So he has other investors, I'm sure. But, it's made actually in China and Japan, actually. And they are from Indiana. And, I was like, oh, Indiana, red flag, conservatives. Wait, did I say that out loud? No, never mind. Sorry. But anyway, he's very much aligned, I think, with my politics. And I'm just not going to, advertise a piece of crap for you to buy. So, Kim, if you click the little lock down there, it'll take the pink away and she'll be able to see your response.
Oh, see, look, you learn new things.
Except Kizzy might be in here. She's not because she's our producer, but nope, she's not in here. So, all right. Clubhouse, Club app, CLU, Clubhouse. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wow. Really? It's a sponsor revolution. It's
CLUB.
Club Doc?
Clubhouse? Clubhouse app?
Yeah, but it's I have the damn app. Club Deck. Clubdeck.app. Clubdeck app. So everybody, use this thing if you use Clubhouse and you want to do it on your PC. Man, I was banging my head against the desk for like 3 months trying to get this to work. Now, you could make it work, but not with, my killer gear that I have here that, I want to use this microphone so I sound good kind of stuff. You could make it work through the PC, but until Club Deck, it wasn't this easy. So I love those guys at Club Deck. So you go to clubdeck.app, and I promise we'll roll some kind of commercials in here. Look at that. Kizzy's all over it. Thank you, Kizzy. If you find some of Kim's stuff too, pop it up there. So Club Deck is really great. I use it all the time. Now that there's Green Room, I guess we'll have to talk about that.
Yes.
Is there going to be a green Club Deck? I don't know what that would be. But anyway, all right. We paid the bills. Kim, we've established, is in New York. And because I granted Kim all the director powers and she opened the show, then we know that I would never let anybody do that, unless they knew what they were doing. And Kim knows what she's doing because I guess, what would you consider yourself? An actor, a podcaster, a voiceover actor, or a model, or what would, if I asked you, what would be the first thing, or would it just be a word salad? Actor, model, podcast host, voiceover artist. What would it be?
I would say I'm on air host and voice actress. So,
On-air
I mean,
host. Ooh, I like that. And voice
on-air
actress.
host, on-air talent, and voice actress. So all of that fun stuff. I mean, I do act, I do model some stuff, not modeling as much, but I have and have done that. But yeah, no, voice talent, voice on-air personality, and voice actress. That's what
I
I
love it.
do. Yeah.
How long have you been doing these fun things?
I've been doing it so I've done radio stuff for maybe about 9 years or so, maybe 8, 9 years. And
Oh, you were
then
12, huh? When you started?
yes, I was very much 12. No. I started it back in high school. Not high school. I started back in college, sorry. And I started a radio station there, and that's kind of where my love for it grew. But I've always been involved in the entertainment industry in some way. I was in plays and did all that, so it kind of seemed fit for me to do that, and I just love talking to people. But then
No.
getting into, yeah, not at all, but getting into radio, and then it kind of just went into podcasting, because podcasting now and streaming now is very different 6, 7 years ago when I first started the podcast with two of them.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Shit,
that's where
it's
I
different
started
3
it.
months ago now. It's getting crazy.
Oh, yeah. Within the last year, especially with pandemic wise, so many people are coming out of the grapevines and whatnots to start their own shows, which I think is awesome. But it's really crazy to know that the whole in 6, 7 years that I've been doing these shows, that it's changed dramatically. So it used to be like, oh, you couldn't really get on certain apps, but now you can, and almost anyone can get
Right.
on the apps, which is great. And you don't have to go and abide by certain, FCC rules and whatnot. It's your
You can
show, and
say
you can
fuck,
do
shit, damn, goddamn it, motherfucker, whatever you want. Say away.
boom, literally that. So yeah, I started that 6, 7 years ago, and then that was the GrindHouse Radio, and then I do the Magic Kim Tom as well, which is a Disney podcast. So I have both of them. I have my pop culture show, and then I have a Disney show, which is awesome with
Oh, wow.
Tom.
You
Tom
got,
right there.
I mean, I think you know a bit about social media and marketing then after all this time, because
Yeah.
podcasting in Disney, that sounds like dollars to me. That should be a winner right there.
I love it. It's so much fun. I mean, both my shows are fun. They're very different, but they're both fun in itself. And also, it's interesting to see how, like I said, within the last year, how just talking about Disney is very different from talking about Disney now, and talking about pop culture in the other show is very different from how it is now. It's like it didn't even happen, but it very much so did happen.
Mm-hmm. Do you know this guy here, Tom Greer?
I do. He is my co-host and also my boyfriend. So
Aha! Wow. Whoa.
there you
Well,
go.
there, huh?
What a supportive person.
Your co-host and your boyfriend. Does that always work out well? Wait a minute, Tom. Just mute for a minute, buddy. I mean, just turn the speakers down. It's nice having you here, but go ahead. I don't think he's listening.
He's probably he's probably doing a half and half listen, because right now the Islanders are on and he's doing a playoff kind of thing.
Oh,
It's
rugby.
super intense. Yeah. Rugby? Oh, rugby, yeah. That rugby. That new sport.
Yeah, that's what they play down there in the islands, down there in Jamaica, right?
Croquet,
The
whatever it
Islanders,
is.
yes.
All the sports. But yeah, that's what I do.
Sports. I'm connected to all the socials. Yeah,
It has taken a long time, like you said, with social media. Yeah, you have to kind of just figure out your way on how to promote
Oh my
yourself.
God, yes.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Like, well, I did that little thing that I did for you, and you know what? I so want to be. I just thought this was fun, and I am trying like crazy to learn how to do this stuff. And let's see. I don't even know how to use the phone. Hang on.
Phones are cool,
Tone the volume up. Undo that. Can we? All right, let's get the microphone there. Maybe.
There we go. There we go.
We're getting close.
Oh wait, other way.
Ooh, the green screen is making it funky too.
Ooh. Perfect.
That's crazy. All right, close enough. Now, let's see if we can do this. Hit the play button. Yeah, that ain't happening. Hang on. Oh, it stopped. Game begin. This show, the big interview? Well, one tonight. We're moving up in the world. We've got GrindHouse Radio Host Kim Adragna. Oh. I said it wrong, didn't I? Stained. No, bleach stained. All right. We'll see you at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific. Join us on the big interview.
Was that what you said before? You said, "Oh, bleach stain." Is that what you said?
Yes. I was stoned. I'm pretty much stoned all the time because I have really bad knee pain, and so I'll be right. I'll be doing a video, and I'm like, oh shit, what?
Bleach.
It's a stain. And then I'm thinking it's a stain. They're like, oh, what kind of stain is it? I don't know if you have a stain. Ooh, and I'm like, oh, no, it's a bleach stain. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine.
I would, if you didn't even spot it out, I wouldn't even noticed. I was like, oh, okay. What is he talking about?
No, it was just me totally being stoned, and yeah. I mean, I have a rule that I have to make if I go outside. If I had a porch,
society.
Yes, if I go outside, right on the streets of Chicago here, I have to make one TikTok / what do you call that? Instagram video for the show. Yeah. Because that way, at least I'll do one a day, because I usually get outside at least once a day. And if I'm not allowed to come back into the house until I do a video, unless I'm, mad at the executive producer, and want to just stay out all night, be like, fuck that, I just won't make a video, and then I can't go in the house. But unless that's occurring, that way at least I get one video done a day. But you were saying how quickly it changes. And and I did another video the other day with, because I'm just trying everything, because you only have 2 seconds, because they're going to swipe. You got 2 seconds to have them stick. You know what I mean? And otherwise they're gone. And of course, at any time in there, they can go away too, if they lose interest. But those first 2 seconds are crucial. And can you imagine? Those first 2 seconds are probably going to be down to 1 second at some point, because it just keeps going lower and lower. Like the attention span used to be a few minutes for a video, and now it's 45 seconds. If you don't get it all done in the first 45 seconds, good luck. So we're going to tell the history of the universe. You got 44, 43. You're running out of time. You know what I mean? It's
no, it's true. And if you think about it, like YouTube videos, right? The algorithm completely changed. It used to be, you only make 8 minutes worth, and that's great. And then it went to 20 something minutes, and it's like, well, you want to try to get as many views as you can on a long period of time. And now it's back down, and I'm like, well, which one is it? This is completely different. It's like, well, if my content is 20 minutes and I want to catch that, no one's going to watch it because it's not 8 minutes. It's like, what's the real algorithm now? What's the real attention span for people? And like you said, the best example I could give is a TikTok. That's the best example, where in a couple seconds, if you don't grab someone, swipe the next video.
No, you have to. And I think that it's interesting, what is the sweet spot? And like I said, for video, video, it's about, what I heard was you've got about 45 seconds max. I think with Instagram, you can do 15 seconds or 30 seconds. And then TikTok, you can do up to a minute. And obviously anything really in between, because with TikTok, I'll do a 35-second one at but the problem with that is a minute can feel like an awfully damn long time. And that, I've known that for a long time, since way back editing commercials and everything. But the, and you don't want it to feel like a long time, obviously. But one of the things that I have learned recently is people do not want, for example, if you put some titles on there, do not put those titles so they bump underneath one of the little buttons or whatever on the right-hand side. Now, that would aesthetically, I couldn't handle it. I wouldn't do that anyway. I mean, I've had to figure out how not to do that. Yeah. But those little things, boom, they're gone. People don't like that, right? Just like I don't like it. So it's like, oh, shit, I swipe away. So there's a lot of little things that you got to make sure the thing is perfect. And then I'm like, ooh, but if I do let's say I do a 40-second one on TikTok. Most people are used to either a minute or 15 seconds. So will that be too weird for them, or will they be grateful that this horrible little video I made isn't going any longer? So, I haven't figured that out yet. If I should just, if I have to be funny for freaking minute. And do I have to be funny? And I'm sorry, Kim, I'm just going all over the place here. What do I have to, what is my Instagram about? Oh, you got to know what your Instagram's about. Well, I mean, I have a show about nothing, right? I interview all kinds of different people. So,
But that's what's interesting, and even like you said, and to add it on to the whole TikTok thing, well, then now there's music. If you put some music in, apparently that gets more views than other music. And you're like, why? And then to take it a step further, it's like, well, if you use this music and only 10 seconds, you're golden. You're going to get 20K views. And I'm like, but how? So you're like, how?
I don't mean to be like, anyway, God bless anybody that is much more attractive than I am. Let's just say that. And they show very little of their clothing on there, and 10 seconds of the right music. Yes, they're going to get 100 million views. And I mean, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but like, I can't do that. You know what I mean? So how do I get 100 million views? Like, it's it's a very strange system. And speaking of that, I'm actually intrigued when I find somebody on TikTok or on Reels with Instagram, like, okay, like, what do you do? It doesn't even they're not even saying they want to be this or that. It's just they have like 49,000 or 150,000 viewers and no information about themselves at all. You're like, huh?
Like,
so they can't be doing it for the money, or is it? Does that make them think that? Yeah, I mean, it's like just weird. You can be completely anonymous, other than you show who you are on these mediums. It's just all very strange,
100%. Social media is a weird thing, and social media is a job in itself. Trying to make the post, then the tweet, then the Facebook, then the Instagram, then trying to put it out. Hopefully someone sees it. And then you're like, well, if no one sees it, it's because why didn't they see it? They're, I put the proper hashtag or whatever. So it's such a finicky thing to master. And sometimes, some posts work and some posts don't, that's just the name.
I found out too, we need to talk about you instead of social media, but I did find out through some reading here that, so Billie Eilish, right? She's got a bazillion followers. So she gets 10% of a bazillion in likes, no more. I'm not even getting 1%. I have about 250 people. My account's not very old and I'm not, Billie Eilish, but the 10% is about the maximum number. So if you want to get 50,000 likes, unless you blow up or go viral, you've got to have 500,000 followers. And so you got to know the rhythm and everything, and figure out how the algorithm is going each day. I did learn, and I would tell anybody, because I think I got some pretty good information on this from a PR firm that I want to hire, and that, of course, they want my money. They want me to hire. So he's been very generous with his advice. But the that 10%, I lost my thought because now I'm like, I got to come up with money for the PR firm because I'm dying because I need more followers. I need more people to see what we're doing. We don't have discovery on apps, blah, blah, blah. Okay, back to Kim. Let's reset the room. Pull to refresh. All right. Hey, quiet down back there. Statue. It's upset. It can't be in the view here. All right. So before all of this crazy social media stuff, you said you started in radio. You started the station. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So back in college, I wasn't sure if here in New York, I stayed local. I didn't go away to college. I stayed local. I wasn't really sure at the time.
And where are you in New York from specifically?
Long Island.
Oh, Long Island. Okay.
I'm on Long Island,
Gotcha.
And so I went to a local state school here, and I wasn't sure.
SUNY? No, SUNY.
I went to state school. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was Farmingdale State College.
Cool.
And
all kinds of colleges in New York. Sorry.
There's a whole bunch. There's like Malloy, there's Adelphi, there's Hofstra.
My daughter. Wait a minute. Where are you in New York now?
I'm still on Long Island.
You're on Long Island. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm gonna keep distracting you here. So hold your thought. But my daughter is going to university
yeah.
in
Ooh,
Manhattan
university.
starting August. It's not as fancy as I made it sound. I don't want people to anyway. Uh,
That's great
but
though.
yes,
Congrats to her.
so I definitely will have to come out and see her. So we definitely should have coffee or something, or interview each other or something when I get out there too. Hopefully soon.
Yes.
But yeah, that just made me think that I am meeting people from New York all the time. I should kind of make sure my daughter knows who they are and make connections, out there. So anyway, we'll do that. Let's go back to
Yes, you have my number, you have my contact, you fine. But
Yeah.
from there, I like I said earlier, I was always interested in theater, right? I was always interested in talking to people. I was always interested in that. And before I even thought of that, I was like, maybe I'll go to culinary school. But I scratched that. I just wanted to make that a hobby. And then college came, and then the radio station came. But before the station came, I was like, I'm probably going to transfer out and go to, New Paltz or something, which is also here in New York in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so glad I stayed because I learned so much from the radio station. Me and the founders built it up. The people who helped us, who worked for the college, helped us learn how to do certain things with the radio station and grow and promote and do all that, which helped me, in turn, get an internship and then find my co-hosts and become who I am today. I never thought that I would be where I am today. My podcast has about 3.5 to 4 million listeners every single week.
Holy shit.
I've got to travel to places. I've signed in Celebro at conventions. I've had the opportunity to do a bunch of voiceover work. So never did I think that, I had plans that I would like to do something great and big and huge and be something, but I was just going with the flow. And so me going with the flow, starting the radio station, led me to where I am now. And it's just been such a fun journey the whole time along the way.
That is a fun journey, and I think that there are a couple of guys in Chicago. One of them, his name, he could be infamous now because gosh, white guys 30, 40 years ago on the radio, they did some, let's just say, crazy stuff. But anyway, his name is Steve Dahl, and he started a radio station at his high school and had a huge career in radio many, many moons ago. But I think that even because I'm guessing, you're somewhere between 19 and 29, probably in there somewhere. And the fact that radio was still influential even for you is good, because terrestrial radio, as we know it in and of itself, like I haven't listened to a radio through a
in a
radio,
while, right?
I couldn't even tell you when, you know what I mean? Like I don't own a car. So, and even if that's satellite radio, right. Or somebody, but anyway, so that you got your start in radio is awesome. And, and just really doing that for yourself. I think you can do that now, right? I mean, I've said this before to people that want to do voiceover work or any kind of, I used to do, when we used to do commercials, half the time I'd be doing the voiceover and, the directing and the cinematographer, because, there was low budget kind of commercials, but you can really make an opportunity, for yourself. How did the GrindHouse radio show come together?
Yeah, so here's how it came to be. So we were talking about the Farmingdale State College, that radio station, and at that time I needed an internship. And so I went to, I was like, okay, well, there's this publishing company, and then, I'll help and do PR for them. So I did that. And the co-host, one of the co-hosts, Brim, he was actually the person I did PR for. And now he's my co-host. And then later on, Tom came along and whatnot. But before all that,
swept you off your feet.
Swept me off my feet.
He wanted a hosting gig. Good move, Tom. Very smart.
He was swift. He was very Taylor Swift there. But and then we were just like, well, let's see what happens. You have a broadcasting background, he has an entertainment background. Let's just see what happens. So we had one microphone, no soundproofing, nothing, no studio. And then we were like, all right, let's just talk. Let's just do our thing. And then years later, we have soundproofing our own studios. We're endorsed by Bayer Dynamic. We get to record and do a bunch of fun stuff. And that's basically how it came to be. We have celeb guests that come on every single week. And it's been a fun journey, but it's been a very busy journey for everyone. Brim does a lot of work, Tom does a lot of work, I've done a lot of work with everything. And it's been a great time. But that's how it came to be, from an internship all the way up until now, just on a let's just start something. Because I said,
that's nice.
7 years ago, podcasting was very different. I thought I would do the internship and I would probably get a job at Z100, because when I would drive to college,
Z100.
Exactly. I would listen to Z100 and Elvis Duran in the morning show every morning. And I was like, well, I could do that. And then that's where it happened. So, to be able to make my own journey. And if I still love Z100. I still love, the thought of being on a morning show like that and whatnot. But
I feel you 100%.
I made my own path, and here we are now. And you never know what the future is going to hold, but that's basically how it started. Yeah.
Well, I was what's Rick's name? Disc
Rick
jockey.
Party?
Disc jockey from Chicago, right?
I don't know. I know Rick Party from
he just
Clubhouse.
did something with the other voiceover thing I was doing. But anyway, I'm always fascinated by the this is how popcorny I am in my interviews. I'm always fascinated by the voice. You know what I mean? Like, the certain voice, there's the NPR, like, how they talk, they all talk the same. Like, I want to learn that one. I got to learn the NPR one. I don't know that one. But I mean, all these different things with your voice. So how did you, when you started the radio station, how did you start to develop, your voice and these different things as those came along?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was always in choir and singing, and I competed in high school, and, with the whole class we would go. So I kind of knew the proper vocal exercises, always keeping your voice hydrated. And that kind of stemmed and moved forward into radio life. So even before I do anything radio or I do anything voiceover work, I always exercise my throat. It's the same thing. Like, you wouldn't have a professional singer go up on stage and just sing and not do anything. Not
I didn't just hiss like a cat, folks. I was doing a vocal exercise.
Saurispanda. but yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I've prepped. Was that the question? I don't remember what you said.
I have no idea what the question was. As long as it looks like we're having fun.
But that's no, I remember now. You were talking about how did you develop your voice? I mean, honestly, over time. Me going from, if I had to listen to my recordings from college up until now, very different. There are certain words that I say, even though I'm from New York, I always say certain words now. Now it's stuck in my brain to not say those things.
Right.
So,
when you just said New York, like you're not from New York. Like,
I know. There you go. See, exactly. Perfect example. But there are some things that pull through. I'm not going to say I'm
if I got you pissed right now, you'd probably be like, boom, right into it.
Like, hey, what the heck?
That was like when I was doing the voice, when I was, the voice when we were on IG, and I'm like, I can't do an Italian like from Italy. I can do like a guy like this, hey, yo, man. Like, hey. Look,
but
I'm Italian. What's your problem?
You find your voice. You eventually find your voice, and you learn the right things. You learn from people, and it all works out. I mean, yeah, you kind of, as time goes on, you kind of get more radio and more poppy, and your voice is what grabs people in, and then you just start talking that way.
Yeah, my good friend Megan Carberry, when I sent her because I was going to do a podcast, I still need to do one, honestly, about my homelessness and everything. And she's like, I like it, but like, lose the radio voice, because that's just my default. And I'm like, I agreed 100%, because that voice, especially the straight, and I don't do just like a straight, welcome to blah, 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 whatever. But
Yeah.
that announcer kind of voice, it's like, it's really going away. And podcasts are very like, oh, Ira Glass changed podcasting before there was podcasting. You know what I mean? So that, it's that long form, kind
It's
of
not like,
style
oh,
to it. You want to
listen
tell a
live
story
now.
and
It's more like, let's just talk kind of thing.
yeah, you're
But
just
listen,
chilling.
radio's not dead. I mean, people say radio's dead. It's really not. Maybe people don't listen to it as much and you're, popping on Sirius XM or you're streaming more or you're downloading and you're listening to podcasts. But people still listen to radio. But you have a nice sultry voice. That's the thing. Like every time I hear your voice, I think like of you recording like welcome to the Oscars, the 95th Oscars or something like that. Like that's what I hear. So you can do that, Never
Gotcha.
lose touch. That's your voice.
Oh no,
Like
no
that's
doubt,
your
no
voice.
doubt. I won't be doing any thing for Ira anytime soon, but that's okay. We don't know each other, so and I'll be happy to if he needs an announcer voice, or if oh no, let's not talk about. Wait, don't tell me. Sorry, sorry. It's just
It's all good.
an enemy, a host, but So, what is the thing that what's the thing that you thought would be really hard, but it turned out being something that you like to do in this
Something
journey?
Throughout like
Yeah,
voiceover,
something like would be hard,
all
and
that.
you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, and it turned out to be something that you really like to do.
That's a good question. I think getting into I love voiceover work and I love radio work and all of it is great, but it can be difficult sometimes because you're trying to get into the characters' heads, you're trying to make sure that whatever you're recording is coming across correctly to the directors and the producers and who's ever listening. And I wouldn't say it's difficult or something that I had to really learn, but you know what? It's when you first start out, you're not going to be amazing and you can't expect yourself to be amazing. And I know that's something cliche to say, but as time went on, in the beginning, I wasn't really for the critique. And then as time went on, I was like, you know what? I need the critique. I'm going to learn from the critique. And I'm so glad I did because any critique that I get, I welcome it now. And I'm like, okay, no problem. Like, if I want to accept it, I'll accept it. If I don't, there's a reason for it. I may agree or not, but I'm all open for it because that's how you learn. And you hear that all the time from people saying, well, if you don't accept critique, you don't learn. It's true. You need to valuable critique. That's what I call it. There's critique and then valuable critique. There's a difference.
Word one might say, from another religion, but yeah, hallelujah. I'm right there with you because it is. It's that way.
People are too hard on themselves, and especially if you're entertainment and in this industry and you're broadcasting, like you're your own worst critic. We always say that on our shows. You're your own worst critic. Don't be too harsh on yourself. And then if you have other people on top of you,
second guessing myself, and but I really, anybody DM me on IG at Rev Mac Live and critique away. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. I mean, I think getting myself prepared emotionally sometimes when I know I'm going to be critiqued by somebody that I respect or something, and because this is what we do with each other or whatever, sometimes I kind of have to get myself in the right headspace to accept it. But damn, always give it because it is always really a good thing. And it's how I improve, as we go, that and watching other people that do this, so really, really well. So
yeah, true. You have to allow the critique. You have to allow it, and that's probably one of the hardest things to accept is getting critique, and that's how you learn. And that was difficult for me in the beginning, but now I welcome it. I was recording with the two of the guys on the show, Tom, who's in the chat, and Brim, who's on our show as well. And we had to record some voiceover stuff because we're casting some things. Can't say yet, but we're casting some things. And We were up until like 2 a.m. just recording stuff. And then I was getting semi-frustrated because I'm like, it's 2 a.m. I have no energy. My voice is tired. I'm just at this point. But I had to get in the headspace and say, you need to give this character justice. This is what you're doing. So it's a lot. You have to get over that. But you do, and you do it, and you master it. And then you'll watch your video game come to life, or your show or your movie or whatever, and it's wonderful.
Oh, video games. That would be something like, because there's a couple of things I want to do. There are a couple of things that I'm working on that will be really just kind of nice achievements to have. Like if I can get a writing credit or something, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing some of that. And it'd be fun to get that, but it's just amazing to be able to even think about the writing that I'm doing with some people, the producing that is starting to happen, the other shows that we're starting to do on here, and literally even this platform we're on.
Yeah.
We went from where we were hooked to Periscope and everybody was getting tons of views till Periscope went away. And I don't think the people that came from Periscope to this platform quite realized that this platform wasn't going to save them. So views are down. And so everybody's having to readjust and everything. So just being nimble, as I think has been the theme tonight too, a lot. You've just got to know what's going on all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. And that's the thing too. Like we were talking about Clubhouse before, and now there's a new app called Green Room. But it's
Right.
like, well, I have Twitter, I have Facebook, I have Instagram. Now I have Haps TV. I'm like, I'm on everything because now you kind of have to be on everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because let's say Instagram goes down, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people. Or if Twitter goes down, a lot of unhappy people. If Haps
I was at a concert. It was, I was with my daughter. So it was the one where the characters are all ape-like cartoon.
Cartoon character concert?
Yeah, well, anyway, I'll remember who they are. Anyway, we're at this concert, and my YouTube is like not connecting. I'm like, oh, okay, it's because I'm in we're inside. Okay, so I try something else. Oh no, that's working. This other thing's working, because this is when I was doing YouTube stuff before this, when I was on this platform. And I'm like, 5 minutes later, still no YouTube. And then I'm like, YouTube's out. It's everywhere on the internet. And for like 40 minutes, YouTube was down. And like, that was just like, it didn't really affect me. I wasn't losing money or anything, but it was just like,
It's a lot.
Yeah. Like, what? Like, can you imagine like when if these platforms go down, it's like shakes the world, I think.
People disappear then, It's insane. So like, being on Clubhouse, now there's Green Room. I'm like, oh my God, like this is cool.
I'm not an insider on any of these things, but I wasn't a first this or first that, although I think I was technically on Green Room, the day that everybody found out about. I know it existed before or whatever, but
yeah.
But but with Green Room, it's like, I got in there and like there were all these conversations about like how much Clubhouse sucked. I'm like, Clubhouse made you people. Literally, Clubhouse made me. Like,
you went from Clubhouse to Green Room.
Haps gave me this platform and the ability to get my voice out there, and Clubhouse gave me connections out the wazoo. You know what I mean? I am friends with filmmakers that make a living, not Steven Spielberg, not even Steven Spielberg's neighbor or what, none of that, but, working pros like yourself that like I've never met before, and that I have come on my show, and we try to have fun and then use my voice and platform here to bring other people, to Haps and stuff. So Clubhouse made so many people, and I literally was listening to some of those people be dissing Clubhouse. And like, I get it. You had issues, you had problems or whatever, but like, you might have to go back to Clubhouse. What if Green Room breaks down or something? You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't get that. Like, be grateful and then, and then bitch too. That's fine. But yeah.
It's funny because before I've only had an iPhone for probably about, I don't know, 5 months at this point, because before that I had Android, and Android didn't roll out for Clubhouse until maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
And if I had had an iPhone, which I know Tom's going to say something, you should have had it a while ago. But if I didn't have an iPhone, I probably, would be late in the game, and I wouldn't have met a lot of the people that I have met, like you, or, a lot, like you said, a lot of filmmakers, producers, a lot of voiceover people. Through that, I've gotten opportunities because of that app. And and casting directors. I've worked in rooms with casting directors on Disney and DreamWorks, and I'm like, this is insane. And now I have their phone numbers and we're connecting. That could lead to something huge. So I just laugh at people who diss Clubhouse because something had gone on. Maybe they didn't like the rooms that they were in or something. And it's okay. Clubhouse isn't for everyone. I am going to say it can be jarring. Yeah. It's not perfect, but I've had an awesome experience. You've had a great experience. Mm-hmm. And I'm really grateful for it, like you said.
Honestly, I think too, in some cases, and I'm not speaking to anybody even I necessarily heard, but I think in some cases it's kind of that, when you're at the top of anything, when the new kids come in and things start to change and bad things even start to happen and things that maybe you perceive as being bad, I get that can throw you off. But me, I'm just fucking grateful that it was there, because I bet right now, because what I do basically in Clubhouse is when I'm in a room or whatever, if I'm part of the program or if I'm just listening, whatever it is, I'm going to scan who's there, obviously, see who I know, and then see who's on there that I don't know. And, okay, should I follow them, blah, blah, blah. But if I think they'd be good for the show, I screenshot that, hook it up to Instagram, screenshot that, and it goes to a special folder, on my iCloud. And I bet I have like 1,000 people in there. Like, I mean, how many? Even if I did this 5 days a week, which I'm only doing it 3 or 4, like I got enough people to last me forever. And actually, I need to go back because I tend to I'm not even using that, right? The people I put in there are the people that I didn't instantly say, oh fuck yeah, I gotta IG them, DM them right this second. Nothing wrong with those people I put in there. They would be great, but it keeps me kind of, just top of mind, I guess. Yeah. But that made that. I mean, Clubhouse made me for that. I mean,
I'm glad I made the cut. Whew.
Oh yeah. You did. Well, what I'd like to.
It's true. It's funny you say that because I've screenshot and then I've never. It's either I directly follow or like I've just screenshot and then I have intentions, but I never did. So I get you.
Yeah. Well, I had a fun little story when I've actually only been on Clubhouse for a couple of days. I think maybe. Well, I had that 5-day. I didn't know if I ate, slept, or went to the bathroom for 5 days because I was on Clubhouse.
Because it's addicting. It's an addicting platform.
And, I had to kick it, and then I can be on it pretty reasonably now again. But I opened up a room trying to get my microphone thing working. It was always my obsession, and it's a USB test or something, and somebody pops in, and she's like, I let her up, and she's like, hey, we were just in a room, and now I'm looking at who she is, clicking the thing. And I wanted to talk to you about, and I'm like, ooh, hold on a second. Like, sorry to be rude, but wait, you're on my list. Ooh, like I was going to reach out to you like soon because I didn't have that 1,000 people in there yet. And she's like, what? Really? I'm like, yeah. Well, she's like, well, no, and I said, because I want to talk about you. And she's like, well, no, I wanted to talk about physics, what you were talking about physics. I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. And I said, but you're Manjeet Gill and you started Binti Period and you started the whole period freedom movement, right? And that's why I'm like, so I want to interview you. And, I did. And Manjeet is a good friend, and she's helped me make connections in England. And we're going to, we do a once in a while show in England. We did one yesterday with Dr. Hooper for
That's
the UK
great.
and Europe. And I've got contacts, again, producer contacts. And this is funny too. So there's a news presenter. I think they call them in England, she's a news presenter. BBC Five maybe, but I have a nice friend who's a well-known BBC presenter, interviews like Lady Gaga and shit. You know what I mean? A big deal. And she's not the top of the BBC, but she's well known. Like, how the hell I would have never met her
if it wasn't for this app, right?
Ever. You know what I mean? And now we DM each other and see how the kids are doing, or whatever. I liked watching your show, or here's this thing that's happening here.
Yeah.
Maybe you could use this for a story. It's amazing. Clubhouse. I sound like an investor. I should have been.
I didn't even know that it was a thing even during the pandemic. I just joined, like I said, like five
Really?
months ago. Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't.
wow.
Well, because I didn't have like I said, I didn't
Right,
have
because of the
Apple.
phone. But what month did you join?
I joined in March. Hold on. Let me check
Yeah,
quickly.
I probably didn't join until February, so we're about the same time.
Yeah, hold on. Wait, I'm gonna check real quick. It is February.
When do you know how to check?
So mid-February.
Mid-February?
Yeah.
Oh, it says on there when you joined, doesn't it?
Yeah, all the way at the bottom, above
Yeah.
the clubs, it'll say I joined February 16th, 2021. But yeah, no, there's so many rooms on that app. There's sports, there's movies, there's karaoke, there's game nights, there's pretty much any room you could think of on Clubhouse. And
Yes.
there's some rooms that you kind of stay with and you stay niche. Like for instance, I stay in a lot of like the voiceover rooms or whatnot, but I like to spread out and go to different places sometimes. And yeah, there you go. So you joined about 14 days before me. That's awesome.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
And yeah, we were, because that thing had been around about a year before you and I were on there.
Yeah. And that's what I'm
like
saying.
back when, you could talk to Steven Spielberg or something, you know what I mean? But but yeah, the connections, the networking, that power, all the people that I've met has just been fantastic. And really, I think everybody, green room or not, because I don't think green room is going to do that. I've been on there, and that's just not like what it feels like is going to happen on there. I'm not sure what's going to happen on there, but they're not going to get that Clubhouse magic. It'll never happen again because it was a closed system with the iPhone only, and they invited tech people in at first, and they were kind of doing it. They were building the ship as they went, and they made a lot of good choices, and created this magic that was Clubhouse that won't be the same a year from now. But for me, it won't change because I'll still go to the same rooms that you and I go to, and we'll be with the same people, and we'll keep connecting. But I think that growth of it, is probably going to slow down too, because I've got 90% more people in there than you did before, so it's gonna make the thing different.
Yeah, I think it was like December of 2020. It was at something, like not even like a crazy amount of million. Not
Maybe
a million,
6.
but something like that. And then January came, and it was like 20 something million, downloads.
Well, entire countries were coming online too.
Yeah.
I remember that. You remember that? They're like, now the Indian delegation is now here, and then Malaysia, because they those weren't available yet. I guess they were opening up those places, letting them join too. So yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing too. We're working on actually Katana. I hope you're watching, but if you're not, if you did, I'll IG you. But anyway, I've got somebody that I'm hoping is watching the show tonight, because I want her to be my first guest on our show for Malaysia, because Kuala Lumpur has 31 million very good English-speaking citizens, because English is pretty much the national language, although their language, Malay, I have to remember, but everybody speaks English more or less. And it's like, 120 miles from Singapore, maybe.
Mhm.
So it's a really interesting place because I think there's a niche there in that the way I run this show, what we did tonight was we went on at 9 p.m. my time, 10 p.m. your time.
Yep.
That's prime time in the Midwest, in the West, or East, I mean. And so I direct this show to North America. This is my North America show. Now, maybe you're in New Zealand. You can watch it. That's awesome. I love you. Thank you.
Oh, hey.
But at 2 p.m, then I am directing my show to prime time in the UK and Europe, 8 and 9 p.m., depending on where you are. So that time of day for me, if you're watching it, great. If you're somewhere else, you know what I mean, a different time zone, but that's kind of the show that goes out to there. And then with Malaysia, I think if I remember right, because I haven't done it yet, but I think it's 10 a.m. here is, again, about prime time in Malaysia. So I'll be able to do 3 shows a day.
Different time zones.
For 3 different parts of the world. The same type of show, but maybe I'll have guests that are popular musicians because I work with a lot of, like you, working pros, right? So I could get like a working professional Malaysian musician to have on the show for Malaysia, but then I could be like, hey, tomorrow you want to stay up late and do it for North America? So, I'm super excited because, Katana, who I was talking about, because she could be on 3 shows and guest on, which you should do too. You should guest on the film festival show.
Love
because
to.
We do guest, co-host, judge on the film festival show. So what is today?
Today is the 23rd. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. So just let me know when you have a Saturday night, 'cause you're in New York. So when you are free, like from 11 to 1, it could be this Saturday. It could be a Saturday in the future. And we'll do the same thing. We'll be on HAPS, but we'll do the Rev Mac Live Pop-Up Film Festival. And we screen 3 films with the filmmaker, and then no yawning though. Okay,
I know.
With the filmmaker,
I don't know what just happened the last 20 minutes. I'm like yawning like crazy. I'm like,
oh, it is 11 o'clock
now.
Have we been on almost an hour? We have.
Well, I have been at last. Remember, I told you I was up at 2 a.m. So I'm like trying to catch up.
Don't worry, Tom. She's going to be exhausted. You'll be able to, play video games or whatever you like to do. She'll be asleep the second she's done here. So,
but anyway. Yes, I am pumped. I would do that. Is that 11 p.m. or 11 a.m.?
That is 11 p.m.
Cool. We're going to do
that. That is 11 p.m. And it is a blast. It is a lot of fun. And I don't know if you know Darren Danjou from some of the film circles that you might run around in a little bit too. But if not, Darren's great. And we have Becca Ashworth. She's a master's student in film. She's in the UK. Becca's awesome. She was Darren Danjou's 1 Minute Film School first winner for their little film thing. And then we have usually a guest host lately. Just let me know. That'd be fun. And, I didn't know that you were married to Tom Greer, because his name was all over the stuff that, you were doing. So, is he in the same building as you are? Do you guys live in different places, or how does that work?
I'm not married to him, but
I'm sorry. No, you're partners and business partners, but you live in the same house.
Partners in life and partners in business.
Yes, I did that too for 6 years. Well, with my first wife anyway. But
he's elsewhere. He's watching his Islander game. I don't know where.
Right. But you guys, you could come on together too sometime. So, we're gonna work. I think that would be very, very fun. What's coming up? Because you have a couple of projects what projects do you have coming up that you can talk about?
See, that's a good question, because a lot of them are ones that I can't talk about, which is so frustrating because I want to talk about them. But it's great. It's great that I can talk about them, but can't talk about them. And right now, a lot of the projects are basically my shows. Besides the voiceover stuff that I can't talk about, a lot of them are, you know, just my podcast shows. The GrindHouse
Mhm.
Radio, that comes out Thursdays Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then the Magic Kim Tom comes out on Mondays, Magical Mondays. At any point, you could watch that throughout the days. And we're kind of getting back into the thick of it with maybe having Comic-Con shows again.
Oh, sure.
You
A
know,
friend of mine
maybe
just did her first trade show. Um, well, people on here would know who she is. Lisa Sansusi. Sansusi, yes, I said it right. Does trade shows, I think, with her amazing musical talent, and she
cool.
just did one in Indianapolis. So that stuff's coming too. So all of the Comic Con and all these con things should be happening. It's really
Yeah.
exciting.
Now, there is one thing in the works that it's not 100% set in stone yet, but because I love to cook a lot, I may be doing something with one of my co-hosts on the show, Brim, and we talk a lot about food. So there may be something in the works of having our own little TV food show, but I can't confirm that, but that is in the works maybe at some point. That'll be fun. But yeah, I mean, we do a lot of streaming too, so we're all over the place. Facebook, Instagram, all of that fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, I can't say a lot of the stuff that I have going on, but it is a lot of voiceover work, and I'm pumped and excited to be involved. And then when it is, you'll know. All on my social media, I'll be talking about it and
Put me
talking
on
about
the
it on the show.
socials. I'm on all them socials at Rev Mac Live. You just look for
Yeah.
Rev Mac Live. You're going to find me right there on the socials. And you got to do me a bit of a favor, folk. Okay, look, I know you think I got this big palatial mansion I live in. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the east side of this place is like, honestly. But I need you to buy a Scooch case. Okay, don't ask me
Scooch.
why. Nah,
Scooch
just buy
case.
one. All right, scoochcase.com. Buy the damn thing. Okay. And then after you buy it and you're like, shit, this is a really nice thing this guy made me buy, then send them an email and tell them that, you bought it because you heard that I said it was a good case and you believed me. And because, I'm not getting like a little 25 cents for every time you click on their website or something. This is an advertiser on my channel. And, I want people to pay me to advertise their stuff. I don't want a nickel because we mentioned their name or something. I want money. I'm here to
That's
make
right.
bank, people. What are you talking about?
See, that's funny you said that because I literally I have some other thing which I won't show because it's not Scooch, but I put something on the back of
You
my
can.
phone okay, so
Yeah, go ahead.
it's basically that. It's a pop socket.
Right.
And it's very galaxy-like, but Scooch looks cool too. I like that.
Yeah.
Little
Oh,
pops
if
out.
we can make Scooch happy, get him to send you a case because I'm connected like that.
And then I'll be like, you know what? My buddy Rev Mac Live sent it to me. He told me the
Exactly.
ways. So that's what I'll say.
I'm so excited to get to know you in the way that we got to know people during COVID, which is online on Zoom or on these platforms. Apps is like Zoom and YouTube had a baby, and it's just been a total pleasure. And I would love to see if there is something that we can do together or that you can do 100% without me, because then it might be successful on Haps. See if there's a way, because I'm going to use a little bit of my actual what would that be? Okay, I actually can make life a little better for you on Haps than maybe somebody else could, because I've been here for a long time. You know what I mean? So I know people and the ins and outs and all of that.
The ins and outs.
Yeah, because we have Kaylee LeGrand, she's an actress out in Toronto. She basically records her podcast live on Haps. And so she doesn't ever like say, hey, Tom Greer, thanks for stopping by. Right. I mean, that, the comments run, but they don't break the the third wall there, right? They're doing the podcast and they're not really paying any attention to that. It's visual, but they compose it really nicely. One of them, if not, or both of them, have enough of an eye, as a kind of a director to, they put a nice looking show together, but it's all just the podcast. And it's really fun to watch because you still get that when Gavin Booth was on there, the film director, it was like so different than hearing him on Clubhouse because, I heard him on Clubhouse for a while. Same when he came on my show. When he came on my show, he had the same microphone I had just by chance. And he had upped his equipment too. And in fact, Gavin was looking for clubdeck.app, ladies and gentlemen. I like that. Because Gavin uses it too. So I'm nobody. But Gavin Booth, that he's a somebody. Trust me. He's awesome. He makes amazing films. And
I do like Haps. It's actually very cool. I mean, like, I've always kind of been looking to see if I want to do something on my own show wise. And this seems actually pretty cool in terms of having the opportunity to do audio and also video. And it's different. It's I like it. It's cool.
You can hook up to all the socials here and it doesn't cost you anything. So like before when I was streaming with Periscope and I wanted to be on multiple platforms, I had to pay like $20 to $75 a month for a restreaming service or something. And this doesn't cost you anything. I have consistently made, I don't know, $200 to $300, not trying at all with sponsorships and awards. And there are people that, when everybody was getting a ton of views, it was definitely better for people. But that potential is honestly unlimited because if you have a following already, you've got 13 freaking million people. Is that what 3 million people you said listen to your podcast, right? 3 to 4 million.
3 to 4 million.
So you get 10% of them to plow through Haps, to see whatever you're doing or whatever. And you get 10% of them to give you a freaking $1. In an award, that shit's going to add up fast. Sponsorships like Patreon, same thing, right? I can sponsor it's the GrindHouse Radio, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, the GrindHouse Radio show. If that had a place on here, or you did, or whatever it is, but you could do a straight up sponsorship too, like buy me a coffee kind of thing. You can do it right through Haps. And I was talking to somebody the other day. I tell this story a little bit too. Is that there's a skeptical podcast called this Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. They have 5,000, I believe. Yes, they do. They have 5,000 patrons. 5,000. And their demographic is white males 35 to 55. So guys with money. It's not, I'm guessing their average Patreon subscription is probably $50, because they go from like 15 to 300 or something. You know what I mean? Like they've got a production company now and all kinds of stuff. It's a not-for-profit, but I mean, they're doing really well.
Yeah. And I'm sure through that they've built up like, they have, t-shirt or this or that, buy all that fun stuff just to get extra revenue.
If you become their top member like thing, for 6 months or whatever it is, you get to be on their fucking show. And like, these guys are big. Like on, they're in science and stuff. This is one of the bigger shows, right? So, you got to pony up some big bucks, but there are so many ways, Kim, to make money on this platform. Like I just showed you that I'm getting sponsors for the show. Yeah. That's not the sponsor like Patreon for $5. That's a paying. And in the case of Scooch, they paid me by giving me swag, giving me their gear, right? Yeah. Their stuff. But, and with Club Deck, that was just like, I knew it would be like a single, just a dude that just started it or whatever. And so they wouldn't have any money. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sponsor you because I like the thing. But I also have had a paying sponsor. We didn't make a ton of money yet, but it's coming, right? There's all kinds of things we can do. It's just crazy the potential for income in live streaming in general is nuts.
That's awesome because that just shows the growth of your show, that people want to sponsor you, give you some free stuff and all of that. That's the same thing with my shows. We get sponsors, we get some free stuff. It's cool. And it's stuff that I actually really do like. So the chance to have you really talk about it and visually show it and do all that is just great. But also getting that, it just puts you in a different perspective, saying, okay, I'm moving, I'm chugging along, it's working, it's doing great. So congrats to you. That's great.
Yeah, let me pull up Kaylee's show because you should check it out because, like I said, if you decide to do a new podcast or something sometime, and of course, what I'm planning on doing with these, because I don't, at least on this show, I'm not all the time rolling in video or something like that. So I'm going to make these podcasts as well, right? I mean, it's probably not going to do much at all to them, but yeah, let me pull up Kaylee here.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, like we were talking, I believe, like before we even were doing the broadcasting, and you were like, "Ooh, check it out! Look at all the things that they have," and I was like, "Ooh, this is cool," because there's for the show we use StreamYard sometimes, and I love StreamYard. StreamYard's great. It's just interesting to see which platform works perfectly just for you. Because there's so many out there, and it's like, okay, well, which one am I going to stick with? Because I can't have all of them, and I can't do that. So this is actually really cool. And like you said, if there's many ways of reaching to people and making money, and people like audio and they love video, then why not? Create content, do something that you've always wanted to do. That's what I like to tell people. So
I'm 100%. Let's see if this will go. Let's try it again. Ooh. One more thing. If you know anybody, thank you, allergies. My allergies down.
Allergy hour with Rev Mac Live.
We have a cough button. All right. Hang on. Ooh, man, I got a bullfrog in my throat.
Get that water. Get that water. You know it. Get that water. Get that vocals all set and ready to go.
Now that's 2 parts sugar, 1 part lemon, maybe some water for fun, and some ice. And I've had some Ripple in it. Ooh, but no, I don't drink. Yeah, if you know anybody that needs some publicity, needs some, you think is worthy. Nah, she's not anointing anybody. Calm down. That you think that, deserves to be seen, like I get that all the time. We get great musicians on here that are phenomenal. I'm not lying. You could go through all of my shows, and I guarantee you, any musician I have had on here, not because of me, because there's a lot, good musicians out there that deserve to be listened to. Every damn one of them is really good. So if you know somebody that you think, would be to be a guest on the show, send them my way.
You know it. I'll send them. I'll message you. Absolutely. 100%. I have a couple people that I could send your way.
Awesome. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And if whatever, if you need like a little help, you got an uncle maybe, you're in New York.
Hey,
we'll get you taken care of, you shouldn't be taking out your garbage yourself anyway, young lady. That's ridiculous.
Hey, I'm Italian over here.
Yeah. Come by every day. They got your garbage covered. Look, if you got any problems with people, they're going to be sticking around your place anyway, since I'm investing in you now,
Since I'm investing in you now.
Trust me,
He's helping
those
me
conversations
out. He's helping me out. See, when you come to New York, I'm like, oh, I got my backup. We're good. We're good, guys. We're good.
Don't fuck with your vocal cords if you've made it a deal with an Italian,
Yeah, no.
What are you doing?
No.
You're talking.
You'll get the hand and the slap and the vocal.
No. Okay, so shut up unless somebody's paying you to talk, okay? Because I've been investing in you, Kim.
Yes,
right?
You're right. 100%. Love it.
Oh, I love New York, folks. Both of my wives would tell you that I sometimes, embellish, my actual connection to New York because it's spent most of the time in the suburbs. But what they don't understand is that I did spend weekends in New York because both of my best friends' parents had places in New York as well as in the suburbs. They were well off. So I spent a lot of time in the city, and New York totally changed who I am on every level as a kid coming from the Midwest to New York. So it was just an amazing time, and I love New York. It's one of my favorite places. It is my favorite place on the planet, I think. New York City. There's no place like it, at all.
Very nice. Yeah, New York's great. As I've been traveling more and seeing more different places, I love New York, but it's also really cool outside of New York too, just seeing the different places. And then I'm like, well, can I see myself moving here, or do I want to stay by the bagels?
By the way, I'm moving to LA. I'm not moving to New York. So
Oh, you are moving to LA? Wow. Okay.
But yeah, that's the goal for us is to get to LA. So
okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good move.
Everybody I know now is there, right? In my business that I didn't even have 6 months ago, most of the people are there in LA. So
yeah, 100%. You got New York, you got LA. It's like a United States sandwich. All the industry.
United States sandwich. I'll have that. Actually, I'll take that sandwich. But you know what? Give me some pastrami. Remove the United States part. Put it, on some bread. And
we're good. We're good to go then.
You're good to go. All right, Kim.
Yes.
Adragna.
Yes.
Which is Italian.
It's very Italian.
Again, wait a minute. I got to hear the Italian music. When the moon hits your eye like
a big pizza pie. That's amore.
Adragna. Adragna.
Yeah,
say it like an Italian.
Hey, I love it. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for telling me that. That was great.
Thank you, Kim. Stay with me as I would like to sign off with my thank you for watching. Peace be with you and namaste. So I've done my sign off, but take us out, Kim. You could probably do this better than me, I bet.
Well, I'll first say thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it as always. I'm glad we were finally here to chat. If you guys liked what we spoke about and whatnot, and you liked what I had, please follow. I'm at Kim Adragna. You could find all my podcasts there, the Magic Kim Tom, which is Disney, and also the GrindHouse Radio, which is pop culture based. And you could see what I have coming up, the fun voiceover work that I'm so happy about that I hope you guys really enjoy one day. So please follow me there, and also please follow Rev Mac Live. He's awesome. Subscribe here, follow, do whatever you can. He's awesome. And thank you so much for having me. I had such a great time, and I would love to do the film stuff with you. Let's chat about that. And guys, you have been listening to Rev Mac Live Presents me, Kim Adragna. Thanks so much, Rev. That was it's been such a fun time.
I love that. Presents me.
It's me,
Kimberly. That's awesome. That's fantastic, Kim. Thank you very much. Much love to you, Tom. Much love to you out there, man. Thank you for joining us and not being mean or anything. No.
Yeah, I don't know
if your Islanders did well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if they won or not. So that may be who knows.
Ooh. If the Islanders didn't win, oh my God.
I won't be here tomorrow.
Yeah, let's just hope. See you later.
Bye, guys.